What a beautiful night. Ah! Ebola virus is on the loose. Presenting 3 all-new riddles from Mind Twist. The first one is easy. The second one, normal. And the third one, that's a tricky one. Let's see how you do. Ebola is spreading all over the village. I'm out of here. Fortunately, Detective Smoots knew that Ebola could be spread by blood and never through air. When he arrived at the infected village, he called in a team to quarantine the infected villagers. After asking a few questions, Smoots discovered that someone deliberately released the virus. There were 3 suspects. One of their stories was a lie. Can you figure out which one? Luciano's story. My kitchen is immaculate. Any blood from the meat is wiped up immediately, and we all wear gloves. Heather's story. I couldn't have possibly have spread the virus. I always cover my mouth when I sneeze. Vladimir's story. I am very careful to make sure that the blood from my meat never leaves my cauldron. 2 of you took effective precautions, but one of you is lying and was pretending to be careful. Who was lying to Detective Smoots and was deliberately spreading the Ebola virus? The answer will appear in 3 seconds. If you need more time, pause the video. 3, 2, 1. Luciano and Vladimir were handling blood that could have been infected, but they exercised caution to prevent the spread of disease. On the other hand, Heather knew that Ebola doesn't spread through the air. Her story about sneezing was a diversion. She may have successfully covered her mouth, but she did a poor job of covering her crime. Did you get it right? Let us know by posting a comment below. On to the next riddle. You have survived the Ebola outbreak, but you find yourself in another tight spot. Someone has locked you in a room with 3 doors as the only potential exits. You're momentarily happy to be indoors because the outside temperature has been freezing for days. But you don't like being locked up, so you resolve to figure out which door will lead you to safety. Door number 1 opens for a brief moment and you see a snake that you're sure is poisonous. Door number 2 opens and reveals several swords that will start flying at you if you try to proceed. Door number 3 contains toxic gas that will asphyxiate you within seconds, and you don't have a gas mask. Which door leads to safety? The answer will appear in 3 seconds. If you need more time, pause the video. 3, 2, 1. Snakes can be deadly, but not when it has been freezing for days. Snakes are cold-blooded. They'll die in the cold, or they undergo brumation, similar to hibernation. Either way, you walk by the snake and head home to safety. Did you figure it out? Post a comment below and let us know. Now on to the third one. This one's a tricky one. After escaping the room and braving the cold, you've made your way to a river near your home. As you're staring at the brilliant blue waters, you see a man get shot out of a distant cannon. Before you have a chance to process what happened, the police are on the scene. As they're starting their search, Ace Detective Bo Baranowski arrives on the scene. The detective is able to limit the pool of suspects to 3 ne'er-do-wells: Dave, Todd, and Ryan. Agent Baranowski also finds a note attached to the victim's backpack. Yes, that man was shot out of the cannon by me. Let's see if you can figure out my identity. Definitely you must begin with the end in mind. Then slide all the way across to see what you find. From there, travel up until you get to the start. Onward go sideways, straight, like a dart. The detective takes another look at the suspects and then declares, I have found the perpetrator. How did Agent Baranowski determine who shot the man out of the cannon? The answer will appear in 3 seconds. If you need more time, pause the video. 3, 2, 1. Bo Baranowski explains, the note gave us everything we needed. If we begin with the end in mind, we start with the very last letter of the note, the letter T. If we then slide all the way across, we come to the first letter of the line, the letter O. From there we go up to the start, And at the start of the riddle, we find the letter D. The last clue takes us sideways to the end of the line where we find another letter D. That gives us T-O-D-D. Todd is the criminal. Were you able to figure that last one out? Post a comment below and let us know how you did. If this is your first time visiting, make sure to click the subscribe button below. Otherwise, hop on to the next video, and we'll see you in a bit.